So we were reminiscing when we were chatting about you coming in about when we met you, which we just started talking about.
That was so random.
So how many years ago was that now?
It's got to be 5.5 or 6 years ago, because it's going to be 6 years in when's Fashion Week? It's May.
Now.
March.
Yeah,
March.
yeah, it's the Sydney one. So the Mercedes Fashion
Oh,
Festival.
April.
Because I was just literally launching the Instagram and having breakfast with my dearest friend Nat Frid, and she was like, "You've got to meet these girls. They're like Instagram sensations." I was like, "Wow, really?" And so she introduced us, and you were saying, "I love that jewelry, amazing." And then
Because you
I
were
lent you some to take
I think
to
you had
Fashion Week.
samples there or something.
I did. I
you were
literally
about to
picked
launch.
up like my first sample collection that was so random. It was like an Ariel, the Little Mermaid skull ring, and some like
Oh my
random
God,
bits. I
we
know
have
you've got
that
that
still.
original. You've got that original one, and I'd picked up like the first bits that like with the beginning of Heart of Bone, and you guys were probably the first people to see it, because I think I'd brought it to breakfast to show Nat what I was working on, and she was like, "This is so crazy."
And we just happened to be at breakfast at the exact same
Yeah,
cafe that
yeah,
you guys were.
yeah,
And she
and-
was like, "Come over and meet my fabulous friend. You guys are all going to love each other."
And I don't even think she like told us you were just starting it, because Nat's like such a PR person.
Yeah,
That she was like,
this is a
my
big
friend
thing.
had this amazing
Fabulous
jewelry
label.
label.
She's
'Cause
so cool.
You were just saying before that like you
I hadn't
that was
even
the
launched.
beginning.
Yeah, I hadn't even launched
And
yet.
I didn't even realize that at the time.
So you guys took like, I think it was maybe 8 or 9 rings up to Sydney and wore them, and got like paparazzi'd in them.
Yes.
And then got a shot with Ruby Rose with them. Who
Yes.
funny fact, I used to style her when she was with MTV randomly.
I think we knew
In one of
that
my
you
past
knew
lives.
her.
Yeah.
And
so
I remember you saying that she wanted to be famous. Like she said,
she
I wanted to be
knew. I
famous.
mean,
Yeah.
she just knew. She was destined for that. She's incredible. Yeah, so you guys like pretty much launched Heart of Bone in Sydney. So thank you.
So
no
cool.
worries.
Thank you. We still like, I don't think a day goes by where I'm not wearing at least
I love you guys.
two Heart of Bone pieces.
Love it.
Yeah,
Keep
massive
it real.
fans from the very beginning.
Yeah, you guys rock. So it's good to be here today watching you do your thing and grow your business, and I'm in awe of what you guys have done. Congratulations.
Likewise, completely. We absolutely love all the
it's a
things that you do.
journey.
Every time we like see a Vogue cover come through,
Oh.
or like you sitting with someone fabulous front row at an international fashion week, we're like, oh my God, Emma
Yeah.
is just
The
something
hustle
else.
is real. The hustle is real.
It
Well,
really
it's
is.
taken a long way to get to this point. We'll talk about that while we're here.
Well, I think like what's so cool about Heart of Bone is like it has you all over it, like that kind of like black rock chick vibe. Like when you walk into a room, you just kind of like embody that. Where did your style kind of come from?
Well, I've always had, I think the thing with Heart of Bone is the authenticity, and like our customers sort of seem to say, it's not like anything else because it's not in one particular box. Like it appeals to, a girl with like a little bit of a dark sense of humor. It appeals to a girl who's into high fashion. It appeals to like
Or a guy. My friend recently just bought
Oh,
your
so
Karl
many guys, like,
Lagerfeld
yeah.
and just like is obsessed.
Well, it's 65% women, and the rest is guys. So we've got this big split across, but there's so many different walks of life buy into the brand, and I think it's that authenticity and that raw sort of quality that we've got. That's like not necessarily rock chic, but it's not really luxury, but people know it's bespoke and handcrafted. So I guess that authenticity comes from me because it's my baby, it's my brand, and I've grown it.
You. It's you
Yeah.
and a brand.
But it's also the feedback from customers. So I'll meet customers that come in and, one of them's a chef, or one of them's in real estate, or, I've got lawyer customers, I've got lots of rock stars, and heaps of people from the music industry, and they all bring something back to me and some sort of inspiration that I feed back into the brand. So it just keeps on growing and evolving, and I don't necessarily think like I've ever had a certain type of like the way I dress. Like I've gone through, really bohemian stages and gothic stages and lots of sort of punk. Like when I was a teenager, I had my nose pierced and I, in 2 places, and lots of piercings in my ears, and I got tattoos as soon as I could. Like I've sort of always had that rebellious spirit, but I've used clothes and jewelry as a way of expressing myself, like through as an artist and as a creative. And yeah, I think this Heart of Bone just was a natural extension of that.
So I'm just imagining you like being super little in like this like really creative household, like really like nurturing your creativity. Is that what it was like? Or
It
were you
was.
just like a complete random amongst your family?
I'm a bit of a random. My dad has always been a motorbike mechanic, so he collected motorbikes throughout my life. We never really had a dining room table. We just had like a big sheet over the table with just so many motorbike engines. So I've sort of always grown up around machinery and being able to use your hands is like a big thing for everyone in my family. Like my aunt Rochelle King does amazing crochet work, and she's quite like well known. I think she's got pieces in the National Gallery's collection. She's like a really amazing artist in her own right. And my grandparents on both sides were in the rag trade, so my dad's parents had an alterations business for years, and I grew up like on the cutting floor using scraps to make dresses and gowns and stuff. I think there was a time when I was younger where I thought, you know, I'd inevitably end up in the fashion industry, because that was just a thing for me, that I just loved dressing up and I loved using clothing to express myself. But then like maybe having the skills of Dad's, like the way he'd put, you know, his bikes back together and pull them apart again, and the way he could use his hands to build anything was probably, I guess from a young age, sort of showed me that I could pretty much do anything. And my parents gave me this belief in myself that as an artist, it didn't sort of put me in a box. Like they never sort of said, oh, you should go into graphic design because it's commercial, or you should, you know, do this, or you should do that. They stepped back and let me sort of find my own way to be an artist and to make money, you know, within an industry that's really hard to make money in. And at some point, I think, when I was younger, I really didn't know what I wanted to do with those skills. Like, it didn't come easy with those open boundaries. Like, some parents like, you've got to go to university, you've got to get a degree. I think my parents just knew that I was such a hustler that I would just find my way to, you know, make money and support myself. And they just believed in me to do that. So I think having that, you know, as someone who's a creative, it just gave me the strength to try different things. And I guess that is what's led to so many different career incarnations for me. And, you know, I feel like I've found the right place for me to channel my creativity now, and this type of business, you know, which I have, you know, 5 years ago thought would be bigger than it is now, but it's just so much harder than I thought to actually really channel that creative energy and also have that commercial cap on of like, okay, so I'm going to do this product category, and then I'm going to do this, and then we're going to open stores. And it's just not that easy as an artist too, and as a creative to, you know, to make those choices and to be able to divide your time between all those different things.
1000%.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to hear you say, like, you thought it'd be a lot bigger, because like from the outside, it seems like you are just like slaying it at the moment. But I guess like whenever you're in something, it never feels what it feels like from the outside, because you're not just seeing the big wins, you're seeing the like every single day hustling, all the shit that comes with it as well. And so it's hard to be a bit objective and be like, whoa, this brand kills it.
Yeah, like I'm on the cover of Vogue twice.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's really, it's really amazing for an Australian brand to have, you know, to be supported by the fashion industry and the media. It's just such a blessing, and we feel really blessed. You know, we've also worked really hard for that. Look, it looks like we're killing it, and we are. Like my brother, he was sort of between jobs. I said, why don't you just come work for me part-time? You know, Heart of Bone's growing, and I can't really do it all myself anymore. So he came on board, and I was like, it's going to be really fun. And we just laugh about that all the time. It's so not fun. It's actually just, I always tell at 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're still at work, we look at each other like, he said, this is going to be fun. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Also like a part-time job, staying till 1 a.m.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've grown a lot in 5 years. But that said, I mean, we're still making everything in-house by hand. So, yeah, people can sort of say, oh, you know, your lifestyle's amazing. You go to Paris, you go to New York, you're like friends with all these celebrities. That's all great, but like we're working really hard. Like often I'll go home and I don't have a nanny, so I've got 2 kids. I've got a 13-year-old.
You don't have a nanny?
I've never had a nanny. No.
What do you do with your kids?
So I drive them to school. Like my husband takes them twice a week, and I do the rest of the drop-offs. And then my daughter does aftercare. My son catches a tram, so he's pretty self-sufficient now. But I pick her up at 5:30 or 6. And then I'll go and feed them and bathe them, put them to bed. And I'm back at work like 2 or 3 nights a week. Sometimes till 1, sometimes till 2.
That's
because
a
we
lot.
just don't have the time in the day to get stuff done. So, you know, the business management side of it, like there's often, you know, people say, oh, Monday meetings and all that stuff. We try, but like because we're so hands-on.
What do you mean, like have meetings on a Monday?
Yeah, you know, that
structure
sales meeting or whatever.
That's been really hard, because when you're making things by hand, it's like some of those meetings, like Lenny and I end up having the best ones at 11 o'clock at night when we're still at work, and we've just like, we're waiting for something to, you know, be pickled because it's been salted, or there's like a delay of time. We sit down and say, okay, right, let's pull out all the P&Ls and let's pull out the cash flow. That's just what ends up happening in a small business. So as much as it looks like this brand that's, you know, it's grown so quickly, like we're at at that point now where we can't manage the production in-house. So we're looking at all those different options, like, you know, do we staff up? Do we continue to make it in-house? Do we partner up with someone who's a manufacturer? And then you start asking questions about, okay, wait, why did I start this? And then where do we want it to go? Like, is it still going to be authentic when we've got other people working with us? And that's where you sort of have this fear of like moving forward. I always wanted accessories that were different and sort of standout pieces, and I could never really find them. And I kept going to trade fairs and fashion weeks and like, oh, that's the same, and oh, that's the same in that magazine, and oh, what are you wearing? I know what that is because everyone's wearing it and it's all the same.
Yeah, there's a lot of the same stuff in fashion.
Yeah,
because like something catches on and then everybody's kind of doing some version of that.
Well, people are followers, like naturally that's what they do, is that they want to fit in and they want to be part of something, and so they buy into that. And the easiest way to do that is through branding and through fashion. So, oh, you've got a Louis Vuitton bag, oh, I know that that's worth $3,500, so oh, you must be, you know, a certain status.
Totally.
So all fashion does that. Like, even if you are like an avid op shopper, you've got a certain style, people go, oh wow, you've got great style. So, you know, it's how we communicate ourselves and our personalities. And so finding those things that communicated who I was, I would sort of, you know, hunt flea markets and stuff, trying to find things and I just couldn't find anything. And it's the same with homewares, and I just couldn't, as a buyer, find the homewares I was after. And so Heart of Bone actually started as an idea that was meant to be a homewares brand. And Heart of Bone came from Bone China.
Cool.
Not anything else.
So you named it as a homewares brand.
So did you start to like explore the homewares and like expand the range?
So I've done like so many drawings of porcelain plates. Like I've done maybe, how many ranges, I don't know. I've drawn them and they're all beautiful, like with 18th century sort of French influences, but with like this Gothic twist, like snakes and skulls, but beautiful laurel wreaths of ivy and gilding, and they're really incredible. So eventually, you know, I'd love to launch Heart of Bone homewares, and I've got them all drawn and they're ready to go. But it's a timing thing.
So the creative side is obviously something that comes so naturally to you. How have you dealt with like the business and the growth side?
I think a lot of brands like listen to what a lot of people say. Like I've had stylists say to me, oh, you know, you should make like the shop should be really pretty and it should be like white and it should have like really, and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. And that's not going to appeal to, you know, everyone wants to give you like an opinion. Of what they think is going to be right for you. And in the end, like I've tried maybe to do a few things that are out of my comfort zone and they haven't sold and they haven't felt right. And I've tried to take photo shoots that I've been told would be more commercial and they don't talk to me and they don't really talk to my customer. So I think I've just got to keep listening to my gut and just keep believing in myself, because I've done it to this point and I think I've created something that like, people really want to be part of. Like it's a community that people really love and they're really proud to be wearing the brand, and they sort of buy into something that's not just something because of fashion. Like it's a lifestyle, and they know that I'm on the other end of that DM, or they know that they can visit the studio and my hands are filthy and, you know, I've got band-aids all over them and they're bleeding, and they can come and see the workshop. Like it's really transparent. So yeah, that side of things that's the easy stuff. Just trusting your gut with that, because you know that you're doing the right thing. I can feel it when I start listening to other people, and you start being driven by like how much money you need to make, or that starts to get. Then you start to get really commercial, and I don't know how to do that without losing the authenticity. So that's why I haven't really opened retail stores or really done wholesale on a big level.
Yeah, and that authenticity is really what does come through from you. Like at the end of the day, you have created a brand that is so authentically you, and I think people feel that and people really connect with that. And one way that you've really like been putting that out there is through Instagram. Like, and you've been, you know, you've grown your Instagram over the last few years in a time that it feels like brands are really struggling to grow. Yeah. Tell us your secrets. What have you?
Well,
I feel like you used to come for us to ask for our secrets, and now it's like the tables have turned.
So true. That's so funny. The Instagram's been really organic, and I think that's also because I do it. Like, I don't do anything much on Facebook, and we've still got like 2,000 followers, and I think, how's that even possible? But I don't know. It's probably because I'm not on it. But Instagram, I'm on all the time.
I think Facebook you grow through ads, to be
and I
transparent,
never really do those.
That's how we grow on Facebook. Yeah,
okay. So I don't really do those, but the Instagram I manage myself, and I do follow a lot of people, and I comment and I'm like on the DMs all the time and I respond to everyone who talks to me. It's like having a shop. It's a shop to the world. So you've got to treat it like that and treat, all your customers with respect and everything. And I love meeting. I've met friends on Instagram. I've met new friends that I've actually caught up with like in the world, and we've become really good friends in person, not just through Instagram. And you can get that sort of snip into someone's life where you really see who they are through this app. It's absolutely amazing, and it's got this great, I don't know, it's a community spirit. They've taken away the likes, which sort of freaks me out a little bit. It's not because I need to see how many likes I've got. It just feels like a little bit of a ghost town in there at the moment. But yeah, so the Instagram thing's been interesting for me because when I first started, I think because I've had such a sort of high-end fashion background, I immediately just thought my brand would be that. When you think of yourself in some way, and then when you start meeting your customers and they're not, like, it's taken years for the fashion industry, like even stylists who I've always admired and worked with, like to even follow Heart of Bone. It hasn't really been like there's this girl and she's this, started this brand and we all know her.
Automatic fashion tick of approval.
No, absolutely not. It's been really hard. And coming from that other end as a buyer and creative who was like an Australian retailer working with major brands, I was sort of surprised. I've got to say, like I thought I'm going to start this thing and it's going to be great. Everyone's going to support me and they're all going to get it. And then people were like, we so don't get this. Like, what are you doing?
I think the funny thing is that's about
this is scary.
Well, and it's like whenever you're doing something different, like it just takes people a little bit of time to warm up to you. Like that's definitely in our experience. It's like no matter how cool it is, no matter how cool it is, and you know what's cool, people are just a bit funny and they just take time.
Well, you guys are serious trendsetters then, because you were my first celebrity customer.
It's true. We're ahead of the curve. But like, yeah, the same things happen to us with Tubes. Like, we have been knocking down like, media journalist stores for years.
Knocking.
Yeah, and you got to keep knocking. And only like now 3.5 years in, really over the last 6 months, they've started to knock on our door. And finally we hit the Vogue September issue. But really, like, it took a really long time for us with Tubes.
It takes longer than you
think.
think.
And we were like, they're cool, we promise. Like, look, yeah. And,
you've
got to be patient and you got to play the long game. And that's like, exactly what you're talking about is like, you expect it to be further along in 5 years, but like, really, you've been patient, you've done what's right, you've followed your heart, and now it's leading you to this. And
that's also the Instagram. So I think what was interesting, and it's always something that I really do like to share with people when I speak in public, it's actually not what content you create. And this is what surprises people, and they'll go, oh, it's such a big surprise. It's not to me. And I know with like a social media sharing app like that, you can be, and I know some incredibly talented jewelers, people who are more talented than me, who are actually trained jewelers. I know amazing creatives who have 1,000 followers and they've got better content than me, and they have studio shots, and they've got big art businesses that are turning over more money, but they can't crack the Instagram thing. It's actually not what content you create, it's what other people do for you. And so I have an obsession with nails, and I think by working with a whole lot of manicurists and manicure artists, I think one of my strategies, like I didn't really realize at the time it was a strategy because I'm not really like that with marketing. I'm actually not great with marketing. People go, you're so amazing. I'm not. It's actually just...
It's all in your head.
Yeah. But like looking back on how the Instagram grew, and it's not that big. It's like 113 or 14,000 or something. Yeah. Well, I look at others that have got like...
Yeah, I know so many brands struggle.
Well,
then this is what I'm saying. So it's not necessarily what content you create, because I can create some great content. It might get like 500 likes. Yet I've been picked up and I've gone viral a few times with some of my hand shots with the nails. And the nail community on Instagram, it's like one of the... You guys know this. You love manicures. It's one of like the most looked at hashtags. And I think that getting the rings, like, because I've almost styled my hands. So... having my hands as I shoot them with my phone, and it's often not a setup shot. It's like I'm going out. Like, this is what rings I'm wearing. This is what nails I'm wearing. I'm just going to take a photo and put it on Instagram. It's not like a setup. So
it's not like you spent 3 hours getting a perfect shot.
Not. I've got like that Facetune app, and I do a little bit of that on my hands because I'm like 43 and I have to. Yeah. Moving on.
I'm actually born to be a hand model, so you can use me anytime.
Your hands are too. They're like they're too thin.
No, they're beautiful.
That's true.
Beautiful hands. Both of you do. Yeah. So I really am a big believer in it's really not what you create. It's about what other people do for you. So the best thing about that social media sharing is that people want to, if they aspire to something or if they love an image, they'll share it again. Heaps of times it happens without credit, which really annoys me. And if I see it, I'm always like, please credit me. I'm an artist and I really deserve to be credited. That's like one of my pet hates is like people not tagging on Instagram and not tagging talent. It really pisses me off, but that's like, it's an industry thing and it comes down to respect. But anyway, we can talk about that another time. The strategy for growth has actually been people sharing my images, and some of like the content pages, I can't remember what they're called, but they might have like 1 million followers. They'll share an image of mine and tag us, and then we just end up getting
an account called like Cool Nails or something like that.
And then you end up getting like 1,000 followers in a day. And I stopped all the notifications when I had Azzy, just on my social media in general, because it was really destructive. And then when I started Heart of Bone, I switched them back on because I don't really check my phone that much. I try not to be a slave to it. I check Instagram. I don't check Facebook that much, but I don't have notifications because it would literally, I couldn't work, it would drive me crazy. So I opened the notifications again, and there was one day where I had like, I don't know, like it just kept going and going and going, and some like a style blogger had reposted to like 3 million people on her page and tagged us. So you get those people who come in like massive bundles, and I guess you can't really track it because Instagram still doesn't really have, like, sometimes the feed fills up at night time and I'll wake up at 7 a.m. with like 3,000 new followers and I go, how the hell, and I have to track back.
You can't even figure it out.
I can't see where they came from, so that's taken like a while to get.
That's great growth.
I know it happens.
It's like a good problem to have.
Someone like Kelly Osborne got some pieces of us when she was in Melbourne, and she posted to her like 3.5 million or 4 million fans, and then like I couldn't use my phone all day. If I would have had notifications on, like I wouldn't have been able to use it, because you grow like 5,000 followers from a post like that. Like Slash posted with his rings that he got when he was in Melbourne, and he posted to like, I don't know, across Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, maybe like 11 million, and you just flood.
Okay, I feel like I'm glad you've segued us into celebrities, because we obviously need to talk all about celebrities with you today.
I don't know how this has even happened. It's like, it's crazy. It's like a cult sort of celebrity thing.
We know how it's happened because we've seen you in action, and we actually tell this story to people.
Oh, is this the Marc Jacobs?
Yeah, this sums you up.
We're all in LA, and I think we were catching up for breakfast at Chateau Marmont, and then we're just like sitting there having a great time, and then you're like, hang on a second, guys. Marc Jacobs over there. Sorry. Like, I think we were also like 10 minutes into the brekkie. And you were like,
so rude. I'm so sorry, guys.
No, it's not. It's amazing. You're like, Marc Jacobs over there. I just really want to go and introduce myself. I think you had a ring.
I actually
you had made a ring
I
for
was
him.
painting him for my show, and I couldn't find high-res images of his tattoos online because he's got them all over his chest, and I needed to paint them into the background of the painting. So one of the reasons I wanted to meet him was to get his shirt off so I could take photos of his chest.
Oh my God, is that what you were doing?
Yeah, so when I saw him outside, I said, I've got to go and have a ciggy with Marc so I can get him alone.
You came running back to the table 2 minutes later. Sorry, I'm just grabbing my ciggies. Me and Marc are going for a ciggy. And we're like laughing, like, how does she do this? Like, if we see a celebrity, we are lucky if we like, be like, hi, can we get a selfie? But so like, how are you so cool? And you come off as so cool to them.
I needed the photos.
And we didn't know you were getting his top off back there.
It was so funny.
We're sitting there at the table with your husband.
It's funny.
Just like casually.
No, Marc was cool. So I was wearing this denim jacket, like covered in badges. I've always got really cool jackets. Hey, I'm doing a collaboration with Levi's soon. That's something we can talk about. Yeah, I mean, I've always lived in my Levi's. But so I saw Marc, and I really needed those photos because I could not find like the high-res version. So I had a really good look at them and took some photos, and he said, can I take some photos of your denim jacket? And we both did a bit of a thing, and he loved the ring, so I gave him a couple of rings, which that was a really cool moment. But like that's one side of it, when you approach someone and you just say, I love you so much, can you wear this, or do you want to wear this? Most people are really happy to support you, and they they really like the brand. So, and then along the way you meet them again, sometimes I meet them again and they say, yeah, how's it all going? So it's that, or they see a friend with it, and then it makes more sense to them as how they got it in the first place. But there's only been a few times where I've done stuff like that. Usually they come to me.
And like also because they're custom, like I feel like, Marc Jacobs, the ring that you gave him, that was Marc Jacobs' skull, right?
No, he got a Bowie skull.
Oh.
But you
And
do
he
that
got a
with
Carmen Miranda one. But
with like
they're made to
Jean-Paul
order.
Gaultier. I remember
Yeah,
you
I
were
made
going
a
to meet
custom
him.
for him. That
Yeah,
was the
that's
You
so
know that
clever.
you're going to meet them.
That
and
was
you
the
make a
funniest
custom one for
story.
them.
Do you want to hear this story?
Yeah,
It
we
Yeah,
was
did.
I
so
remember
embarrassing.
it. You hustled
Oh
your
my
way into a
God.
party.
I totally did.
What happened?
Alright,
I
I've got
remember
this
this.
is the worst story. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm telling this on a podcast. All right, this is so typically me. Okay, so a friend of mine's parents, don't even know if I can say this. Oh my God, I'm in trouble. A friend of mine's parents are on the board of the National Gallery and they donate for certain exhibitions. And he couldn't go. His parents were away and he couldn't go
Your
with his
friend.
wife, my friend. No names, okay? He couldn't go. So he said, why don't, Jean-Paul Gaultier is going to be there. I know how much you love fashion. You love him. Why don't you go and, you and Justin go and take my place. It's like a cocktail party. It's a big thing. No one's going to notice. You go and take my place and then you can go and meet him. Why don't you make him a ring? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to make him a ring. I'm going to make him a ring. I'm going to meet Jean-Paul Gaultier. So I was super excited. I talked my husband into going. He didn't want to go because he was like, we're not invited. And I said, no, it's fine. It's going to be a big thing. You just come with me. I'm going to make this ring. Anyway, reluctantly, he came along and we walked in and they gave us our name tags, which is like my friend's name and his wife. This is so embarrassing. And then Tony Elwood, who's was the head of the NGV, started this speech thanking us for funding the exhibition. And everyone, oh my God, it was so embarrassing. Yes. And it was too late for us to, because we just got the stickers and walked in, and it was too late for us to go, oh my, we're not really, because I didn't want to get kicked out. It was like, being like, turning up at this party because I had this ring and I'd made it was covered in diamonds. I was so excited. We were just like, it was the worst scenario. So I was saying to Justin, no one's going to know we're there. And then suddenly, the director of the gallery is giving a speech to us, and all of us, like, we're standing next to all these people we knew, and they're looking around for my friend going, why is he looking at you and talking about him? It was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, I've apologized to Tony after that because I was like, I'm so sorry, I've got to tell you this story. And he just laughed his head off. He was like, it's so fine. That's the funniest story ever. So yeah, after that embarrassing moment, we ended up meeting Mr. Gaultier, and he was so humble and incredible, and no one's ever done this, anything like this.
Because you literally make their
I
face
literally
on
made
a ring.
him, with the Breton stripes as like sapphire stripes around his skull,
It was
and then a
incredible.
diamond sort of sailor hat. Like I pretty much copied like the influences of Gaultier into this ring, and I did that as a gift because he'd given me so much inspiration over my life. Like I think he was one of the first designers I really, really saved up, like in my first jobs, to buy it, like Cosy Ipanema. Like I would go and buy it on sale, and I just loved his prints and that darkness that he had, and everything that he had about his clothing. It just really spoke to me as a young woman, and even as a teenager. So it was a gift to give back. I wasn't really like, it did fit him, and I've had a few people say that they've seen him wear it, so that's great. But it wasn't like it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to give it to Jean-Paul Gaultier because I don't know. I just really felt that I wanted to do that. Like it was my friend's idea, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to do it, and that was really cool. And I've got photos of him in it. I don't use them that often, but it was just a really nice thing to do to get my brand out there, and
Well,
I
and
guess
it's
set a
special for
bar
you.
of like, wait a second, I want like all my idols to wear this. So
Well-
getting one to Karl Lagerfeld was like the ultimate
Yes,
like
tell
thing
us
for me.
the story.
I met this friend on Instagram who's a journalist, and this is just so good about Instagram. It's like your tribe attracts your tribe. It just happens, and I've been really lucky like that. So I met this friend, and we arranged to meet in Paris when I was doing some showings there a few years ago, and I had brought a Karl Lagerfeld ring with me, and she'd sort of said, who's your... She wasn't interviewing me, we were just having lunch, and she said, what do you want to do while you're in Paris? And I'm like, well, I'd love to get to meet Karl Lagerfeld because I've got this ring and I really want to give him one. And she said, well, I'm having breakfast with him tomorrow. And I said, you are not. And she said, yeah, I am. We have breakfast all the time, and I'm doing an interview for something. And so I said, well, will you wrap it up and give it to him? And she emailed me the next morning, and with a photo saying the boss loves your ring. And she said he could see it was really well made and handcrafted, and he said it was beautiful and he loved it, and he put it on and he didn't take it off for the whole interview, and I'm assuming he wore it again. So that was like, I was
And
like,
then you got invited to the Chanel show.
Yeah, then he invited me to the show, and that was pretty special, like to see an incredible Chanel runway show. That was like bucket list stuff. So that was so cool.
God.
Yeah,
Really,
standing
just, like,
next
incredible.
to all
And
the
I
celebs.
think, there are two things there. Is like, one, you are so genuine about it. Like, you
Well, I wanted
make
him
them
to
with
have
love
it.
and care.
Yeah.
You make it knowing that like they're going to love it.
Yeah.
But also, it is really fucking clever. Those people would get given so many gifts every single day, but having something that's uniquely made for them,
Of them.
got them on of
Yeah,
them,
so
is really
special.
clever.
Yeah, but see, some don't want that. Like Slash, one of his ex-girlfriends is a friend of mine, Slash from Guns N' Roses. And when they were coming to Australia, she said, I want you to meet Slash because I think he'd really love the Slash ring. And I didn't think he would actually, because he's not like, he's a pretty humble guy. And some people don't see themselves as iconic, although Slash is totally iconic. He texted me and said that he wouldn't be interested in the Slash ring, but he'd love to get something else. So we designed something else for him that he does wear and really enjoys. But yeah, that's like the perfect example of him just going, yeah, that's like, no, I would never wear a picture of myself. So some love it and some don't.
Yeah, but either way, it's a special gift to give
Totally.
someone and one they'll
and I
appreciate.
have customers commission them all the time of like self-portraits or a
Do
portrait of
they?
their husband.
What a
yeah.
great
Oh,
idea.
we want that one next.
Yeah, I do
Love
them all
that.
the time. Like I've done
Or like
so
of your
many.
dog, like a panther ring.
I've done Ghost.
Have you?
No.
Yeah, I've done
Yeah.
Ghost cufflinks and
That's
Ghost. Yeah,
so cool.
Your
I've done a
dog
French
goes
bulldog.
gorgeous.
I've done a Chihuahua.
Oh my
That's
God,
amazing.
Yeah.
So, and then someone else that we were chatting about before who absolutely loves your stuff is Billie Eilish.
Yeah, she's been so great for us. She's such an amazing human.
How did she find you?
We had we did a project with this showroom in LA for about 6 months. It's called the Residency Experience, and it is it's been backed by Bianca, who's a stylist. She does like a lot of video clips and like major looks for Hollywood celebrities, like lots of music industry. She does Madonna's tour outfits and lots of work with Beyonce. She's got this incredible career. Her husband's a film director. Like they were sort of set within that really upper echelon of Hollywood styling. And I've got a friend who's friends with her, and she contacted us both and said, I think Emma should meet you and talk about some opportunities for Los Angeles, because we started getting pulls from stylists in LA and we didn't have a home for it. And I thought, well, we should try a showroom and see if that works. So we did, like a project with her, and I had a showroom in LA for 6 months, and we worked on a few projects together for a few rock bands and stuff, and that was great. But one of the stylists came into the showroom and saw our collection and borrowed it for this young girl, Billie Eilish, who was just starting her career. I think she was 15, so it was going back like 2.5 years, and they did this photo shoot, and I just saw the high reds and I was like, oh man, I can't post this. Like this girl is like
Too young.
No, she wasn't too young. She was cool. It's just that I didn't get the styling at the time. It was really street style, and it wasn't really where we were at the time. It was like all bright green and bright yellow, and this chick with this big baseball shirt and really baggy pants and sneakers was wearing all my jewelry. And I thought, wow, that is the look. Like that, is that going to work? Is this like, can we go across those?
Billie Eilish
can
was
we
ahead
cross,
of you.
She was so ahead of her time.
Yeah.
Can we cross these both worlds? Like this girl's really dark, but she's also into the serious street style. And she's getting, all those pop culture references, from rap. She's mixing this. Is this a thing? And so obviously it's a thing, because that's what a lot of our customers do. And they still I've got, it's random customers, but she was probably one of the first ones that, we really, we started working with her when she was 15, and she's been, we've done custom stuff for her directly with her. We've worked with her style team to put her looks together for tour. And, she'll swap some stuff out. She'll buy some stuff. We'll design some stuff together. We change it up. But we didn't know she was going to be the number one artist in the world. We just backed her because we loved her. We just thought she had a really incredible, brave spirit and a great sense of style. And she was doing something that no one's really done before. And she's really talented. Yeah. So me and Lenny just went, come on, let's work with her. Like we really believed in her, and her style team are awesome to work with. So why not? They've always been great, and they tag us and they credit us, and why not? And so when her album blew up, we were like, oh my God. It's really incredible to be part of that journey, and have this incredible powerhouse on tour wearing all your stuff, like on stage every night.
Yeah, she's dripping in it.
Yeah, like we designed these black bunnies, and she got the prototype, which we didn't really even know that we only ordered 70 of them. Like, we thought that there was like, we're never going to sell 70. And we sold them out in like 10 days because she launched it at Coachella. She'd had it and she hadn't really worn it. And so I think she'd had it for 2 weeks.
Is that what we're wearing right now?
Yeah, you're wearing one. She had it, and then it was suddenly like, I was in Morocco and I woke up and like my phone was going crazy with all these people texting, and they were like, Billie Eilish is like doing Coachella in your ring, and I was like scrambling around trying to figure out like when we could launch it, and they weren't ready yet, so we had to do like a pre-order thing. But that's just one of those funny business things where you think if she's not going to wear it for ages, and then we've got time, but no, we didn't.
Yeah, so you say you're not good at marketing, but like this
well, that's
is your
what
marketing.
Other people, this is, yeah. So if you believe in your product and you're really good at what you do, and if you've got something that's like so different from everything else, people really do it for you. And it's not, we've been really lucky with the way people have supported us on social media, but they're sort of things that people have really wanted to share. And that is how it grows. So it really does help to have someone with 35 million followers, absolutely. But also a lot of those followers are 12. So they're not necessarily customers. They're people who are going to be aspirational to the brand, and they're great for Instagram. But Instagram, as you know, does not drive web traffic, and it does not drive sales. So even if you've got, I don't know what the Instagram figures are, but you'd have to assume that you've got like 30% of just shadow people who don't never check it. Like they've signed up for it, they're following you, but they're not active. And then there's got to be at least 30% of them that are underage, or they're going to be under 15 with no income. And that's a lot of Instagram followers. I mean, if you've got 100, however many thousand, and then there's the ones that, you know, they're just stalking and watching. They're not really customers. How many customers have you got? 3% or something?
Yeah.
And so it doesn't drive web traffic or sales. It is great to have someone like Billie Eilish representing the brand, and we love working with her. And she, you know, let's be creative, because I'm like, I want to make this with this, and will she wear it? Yes. So that is awesome. We probably need 5 more of hers to really use it as marketing. But yeah, it's been great, and it has, you know, it's meant that a lot of the rap community have come to us. Like, we just worked with Lil Nas X's team on his MTV.
Cool.
Yeah, red
was
carpet.
that the VMAs? That
The
wearing?
VMAs. Yeah, so he was wearing this
No
Viper
way.
earring.
Yeah, so cool.
And we designed
We
these.
put it in our EDM this week.
Yeah, cool. Cool. Did you get the Viper earring?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ours.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
cool.
we did all these, like, with the charm bracelets. Everyone wants these charm bracelets, but we created these cowboy boots where you can click on your charm bracelet to make like a spur, like, or, you know, the attachments that go on your boots.
Wait, you do the boots, or you just do the accessory
we've been
for
making
the boots?
them. No, not the boots. So I've got cowboy boots, and we've made these straps that go over the boots where you can hang like your charm bracelets with these claws onto the straps, so you can wear them as like.
What a good idea.
Well, you can wear them as necklaces if you join them together, but you can also. And so we did that for Lil Nas X.
So cool.
Yeah.
So I think like
those.
about like the way like social media and also celebrities, like they don't necessarily make sales, but like I kind of see it as like there are 2 sides to marketing. One is driving sales, and one is generating brand awareness.
Yeah.
And I feel like
you've got to do all of it.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to focus on both of them.
Yep.
But like brand awareness alone, I think that's why people look at your brand and go, whoa, you are so bloody successful, because it's like people don't know at the end of the day how many sales you're making.
Yep.
But that brand awareness piece is something we've always said that we're quite good at as well, and we've struggled to balance it with the sales side. But like brand awareness is what makes people go, oh, okay, this is awesome. And I guess it's also the start of making the sales as well.
Yeah. So we end every episode with some quick fires.
Yep.
So I will ask you the first one. Which celebrity are you next planning to make a piece of jewellery for?
Oh, don't. You know, I really want to do something for Madonna, and I never have. She got a pair of Slayer earrings and a black diamond cross once, and I haven't seen her wear them, but I want to get something to her. It's just a thing. It's a childhood thing. Yeah.
That'd be
Another
amazing.
idol.
Mm.
So cool.
What is your favorite city in the world?
Oh, New York.
Really? I didn't see that one coming. I thought you were going to say Paris.
Yeah, I love Paris. But I also love
Both
New York.
special.
Yeah, both
We're
special.
actually going to New York in a couple of weeks.
Enjoy it. Fashion Week.
What makes you happy?
My kids and my pets.
Oh,
And
you also have
painting,
a
right?
gorgeous cat.
No, painting makes me terribly unhappy. Yeah, I've got
Really?
a beautiful shadow and ghost. Yeah, my kids and my family, my husband, my pets, my kids. Yeah.
What is your dream collab?
Oh, Rick Owens.
Ooh, watch this space.
Watch this space. Yeah.
Okay, last one. We know the answer, but this is a great story. Who did Justin, your husband, take to his year 12 formal?
I can't even know. I know. It's so cute. It's so cute.
Random.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank
It's been really
you.
fun.